Mike and Rosemary, you know who this is, but perhaps people who might be watching this may not know who this is. Of course, Monsignor Paul Witt, good friend of yours for many, many years. And I just want to first of all congratulate you on your 50th wedding anniversary, which was going to be, or is, October 28th, 2022. And I know that you were married on October 28th, which is the patron saint. He's the patron saint of hopeless cases. And I thought to myself, well, that's an interesting date to get married on. You both don't seem like hopeless cases to me. But, you know, I don't know what you two were thinking at the time when you were 50 years younger. But anyway, I just found that date to be kind of an interesting date since it's the Feast of St. Jude. But I want to also thank you, and not only for your friendship, of course, but I can remember the days when I was serving at St. Mary's downtown Lincoln, and you would come over and as a couple would help in the convert instruction class when it was time for the sexuality talk. And you would talk on natural family planning, and both of you had a lot of good, solid things to say. And then we also, with your help, instructed the junior high students, 6th grade through 8th, and that was always quite enlightening. And I say that because we started, as you remember, with all the kids together, boys and girls, and then eventually we split it up so that the girls would go with you, Rosemary, and the female teachers, and then the boys would go with Mike and myself, since we didn't have any male teachers at the time, and then just let them write questions. And we always had them, everybody had to write. And maybe you remember, Mike, when we did this, and I think with the girls too, it was the same thing. They all got the same type of piece of paper, and they all got pencils, and they all had to write. And if they didn't have a question, then they just wrote down, Mary had a little lamb, its fleece was white as snow. That way they didn't know, the kids didn't know who was really writing a question and who was just writing a little part of a poem. So it worked out very well, and the questions were just tremendous, at least from the boys' side of it, what Michael and I experienced. I was amazed at how many quite interesting questions they had, and I thought to myself, I wonder if these parents, good parents, have any clue of where these kids are at with some of the questions they're asking. Wow, it was really something. Probably should have taped it, probably could have made millions, but anyway. So again, God bless both of you, and you're the proud parents of 6 good-looking kids, quiet and shy and all that stuff. And so congratulations on them, as well as all the good-looking grandchildren. Take care. Bye-bye.
Congratulations, Mike and Rosemary, on your 50th wedding anniversary. It just seems like yesterday when you said, I do. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Eloise Novacek Schwartz. Back in 1958, my family moved from Dwight, Nebraska to Steiner, Nebraska, and I went grades 1 through 7 with Rosemary at St. Anthony's Parochial School. There is one thing that reminds me that day. After the reception, family and friends went back to Rosemary's folks' house, and her brothers decided to get into a cardboard box, and they sailed down that long wooden stairway. It was an aha moment. It definitely got everybody's attention that was there. Thank you for being my lifelong friend. I hope that you and Mike have many happy years together. Thank you.
Hi, Mom and Dad. I was approached by my brother-in-law to share some memories or something about our lives together, and I was thinking about what it was like to live in a house with a couple for their lives and what it looked like, and memories from my perspective. They may not be some of the other kids' memories or your memories, or they're just the ones that have stuck with me, a few of the ones that have stuck with me throughout the years. And the first one that came to mind was when I was a little girl and Dawn and I would sneak out of our bedrooms after you'd put us to bed. And usually you'd catch us and send us back. But I remember one time that you actually probably didn't know about, because when we snuck out, you were both laying on the floor watching TV like a couple of teenagers, and Dad had his arm around you. And I felt like I'd walked in on a sweet, intimate moment. And I remember just going back to bed without being told. I remember seeing the back of your heads and from the back seat of the Plymouth Valiant when we went to Nebraska City, and you treated us to Happy Meals, and Dawn and Scott and I were playing with the Smurf toys in the back seat, and you both turning around, maybe not Dad as much, but to say things to us from the front seat, or seeing the two of you from the back seat of some car that we borrowed from Grandma and Grandpa when we went for a trip when I was 11 years old to Colorado, and Dad having a crisp $1 bill for the first person to see the mountains as we were driving into Colorado. Even seeing you side by side at the kitchen table for years and years. And I remember, in my memory, Mom's sitting to Dad's right, probably because of the left-handed business, and passing the pewter plate around with loaf of bread to share with the family that you'd created around the table. Seeing you side by side at church as we took up additional rows for the growing family, and seeing you riding side by side on your bikes, whether it was when we were little kids. I remember the Schwinn bikes that you and Dad had with the little seats on the back, and I would ride behind Dad and Dawn would ride behind Mom, and then later the two of you riding on your recumbent bikes, but always it seemed like your own. You guys were so unique. But also the joy that as a couple and as individuals you brought into our house, whether Mom was whipping out her accordion, what's that called? The accordion, or Dad playing Hide the Keys. Mom teaching us how to bake cinnamon rolls or cookies, and Dad teaching us how to clean up the kitchen, and just a lot of joy in the house that we shared with you as we were growing up. And also seeing the ways that you supported each other individually, bees and firefighting and fertility and planes and the things that you love to do individually, and support each other, and having hobbies and joys outside, sometimes outside of the couple unit. So I love that I've been a witness for the past 50 years of this love affair, and I thank you for the things that is shared with me about what's important in a relationship. I love you. Happy 50th anniversary.
Hi Mom and Dad, I just want to let you know how proud I am of you guys and your dedication to each other. And I'm so glad that you guys got together and gave me all my siblings and my life, and I'm so thankful that I've learned everything from you that all the wisdom that you guys have shared with me, I'm very thankful for, and I'm glad that you made it possible for Mom, for me to be a strong woman that believes I could accomplish things and really not even think twice about it. I just go out and think I want to do that, so I do that. And I feel like that's something that I really get from you. And Dad, I am so proud that I chose this career path and followed in your footsteps, and that you've led such a great way. You were fireman's fireman, and I had such a great name to latch onto here on this job, and I hope I've done it a good service and continue that. And I hope I can pass that on to my children, everything that you've given me and all of us. And I hope many more years you guys can spend together. And Dad, listen to Mom. She knows what she's talking about. You know she does. And Mom, have a little bit of patience and compassion. So with Dad, so he's always trying. You guys are always worked hard to get each other to heaven, and what more could you ask for? So I just want to say congratulations, and I love you both, and I feel very blessed.
Mom and Dad, I'm being told that you two are celebrating the big 5-0. 50 big ones. 50 montharinis.
50 years.
50 years? Anyway, that was my attempt at comedy here to get things started, Mom and Dad. For the kids in the audience, you might want to Google The Jerk 250 big ones, and you'll get that joke a little bit better. But on a more serious note, this occasion has given me an opportunity to think about marriage as an institution. And as I thought about it, one memory kind of comes to mind above all others, and it involves, I was 19 years old. I was fresh out of the Marine Corps, and the most important person in my life had been by my side the whole time. And Dad, you said something to me that is probably the best advice that a father can tell his son. And I didn't know this at the time, how important this advice was, but what you said was, Jim, what are you waiting for? Marry that girl. And at the time, it didn't seem very profound. But the more that I thought about it, and over the years, the more that I've come to appreciate my marriage, I've come to realize that piece of advice was the impetus for me to make the most important decision of my life. And I like to think 50 years ago, that was a similar sentiment that was going through your mind. What the heck am I waiting for? The adventure of a lifetime is right before me. This person, perhaps baffling to me, this person is who I can share this adventure with. 50 years of a beautiful person to laugh with, to cry with. Somebody sometimes to kick you in the ass to make you a better man. And Dad, I just wanted to thank you for giving me that piece of advice. It helped shape me to be the man that I am, but it pushed me to take the biggest adventure of my life, the biggest step that I could possibly take to have a fulfilled life. So I just wanted to congratulate you. 50 years of a shining example for all your children. 50 years to demonstrate to us that the most important institution of marriage has the potential to be the most beautiful thing. So I love you both, I wish you guys many, many more anniversaries. And I just wanted to thank you from the bottom of my heart for being there for me and giving me that piece of advice. Happy anniversary. Love you both.
Hey Mom and Dad, happy 50th wedding anniversary. It's 50 years has gone by. Today I want to tell you that I'm proud of you. In life, growing up, the biggest thing that Dad you ever told me was that you were proud of me, and I try to relay that to my children too. And Mom, you as well. You know, today I'm saying how proud I am that you guys have gone 50 years together, and through all the madness of all of us kids and everything that we've gone through, you guys are still together, and you guys are, you know, have God. And I think the one thing with all the chaos that brings you guys always back together, back to center, is God, and there's no doubt about it in my mind. And you guys have always been there for me and my family. You know that we've been through a lot, and you've been there every step of the way. I couldn't ever think of having any other parents besides you two. You guys have been the stability in my life. You guys have been everything that's brought me and made me who I am today. You know, Dad, you and I, we love toys. If you look at this shed here that we're in, you know, in my boat, which is partially your guys's too, you can tell I love toys, and you know I got that from you, Dad. But Mom, I love to talk, and I'm a loud talker, and I definitely got that from you. And you guys finding each other 50 years ago and starting what you started, and just I look at my kids, and I look at and you know, my sister and my brother's children, and I'm just so thankful for God that I am where I am today, and I have around me who I have. And I pray that you guys are together and around for many more years. I know you will be, because you guys are resilient, and you guys weather storms. You know, I look at life like, you know, boating. You get outside the wake and it gets pretty rough, right? You know, if you get back to center, where if you're following God and you're heading on a path towards Him, you're behind the boat. That's where the waves aren't going to get you. That's where you're protected. But sometimes you got to swing outside of the wake, and outside the wake, Can you stop it? Because I was doing really good. Let me get my thought back together again. So I was outside the wake. Okay, you ready? And outside of the wake are those sacrifices in life, those times, those you know, those tribulations, those times in life where you don't know why, you don't know where, you don't know why and when, but it is, and that's the path God has chosen. That's what it is. But you know what? You got to get back behind the boat again, and that's the path to heaven. And you guys, more than anybody in my whole entire life, have shown me that path to heaven. And Mom, I know that you are so strong, and you're strong in your faith, and sometimes I feel maybe, you know, really want everybody else to feel exactly how you are, and that's because you love them so much. And Dad, I know you love everybody so much, and 50 years, you guys have brought love to many people, and I wish you 50 more. So I love you guys both. Bye.
Happy anniversary, Mom and Dad. 50 years. Thanks for everything you've done for me in the past. I love you guys. Growing up was great. Living on the acreage was so much fun, especially for an introvert like me. Being able to kind of go off on my own, and I just want to say I love you and happy anniversary.
Hi, Mom and Dad. How are you? So, congratulations on your 50 years. I just recently stumbled upon this quote, and I thought it just took me right to you guys. We all have our own time machines, don't we? Those that take us back are the memories, and those that carry us forward are the dreams. So I was hoping to maybe talk a little bit about some of the memories that were my favorite with you guys. Some of the fondest memories I have are going to the lake, getting fried chicken. We'd be there all day. We'd be so tired when we got home. Playing Sorry at Grandma and Grandpa's lake house. Lots of lake memories. Going on family bike rides to Eagle, Nebraska. Sunday breakfasts with Mom and cooking all the big meals, although every day we ate cereal, so that was also a fond memory. Mom banging on the floor with her foot to tell us to wake up every morning. And one of my most cherished memories was when the electricity would go out if we had a big storm or something. Dad would take out the scary stories to tell in the dark, and he'd read that to us and scare us and show us the spooky pictures. And also Dad waking up every morning, putting on his little sock on his foot and turning on his weather radio and listening to the forecast and then bike riding into work. That was also a fond memory. And those really take me back, and it really is like a time machine. And some of the dreams that I would like to carry forward for you guys are lots of religious vacations. We all know Dad loves those. Even more laughter if that's possible. Loads of love and patience and compassion, emphasis on the passion for each other. And everything else that you guys ever want. And I love you, and thank you for learning how to fly. That's how you met, and otherwise we all wouldn't be here. Best life ever. Thank you. Long enough?
A couple years ago, Mike and Rosemary helped us till up this wonderful piece of land, plant some new grass. About 6 months later, it was just weeds. And I have to say I was kind of disappointed. But the next spring, it was this wonderful, luscious grass. And yeah, it's a little weedy now, but for a little bit, we had some really nice grass. And I think there's a wonderful metaphor there. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but I think it has to do with love and 50 years of marriage. I love you, Mike and Rose. Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary, Mike and Rosemary. 50 years. It's crazy how long we've known each other, Scott and I have been together 19 years, 20 years with not being married. I've been blessed with the best mother and father-in-law I could ask for. Our kids are so spoiled by you guys, and we're so spoiled because of you. You have been a role model for all of us, and thank you so much for everything you've given us. And you make me cry. St. Philomena has been amazing for us, and I couldn't have done anything that I've gone through without you. And you remind me of that all the time when you ask about St. Philomena. And our kids couldn't have asked for better grandparents, and you come to everything that they can be in. So thank you for everything, and happy anniversary.
Hi, Mike and Rosemary. Congratulations on 50 years of marriage. We're at the goal line of the football field, and I was thinking that each yard represents 1 year of marriage. And although I don't have a timeline to put to what you've done in the last 10 years of in your marriage, or 20 years in your marriage, or 30 years in your marriage, or 40 or 50, I do know that you've accomplished a lot. You've set great examples for your children and grandchildren. And I know that, Mike, you would do anything for anybody. You would give the shirt off your back for anybody. And I know, Rose, you would buy a shirt for anybody to put on their back. And I appreciate all the things you've done for Dawn and I, and Sam and Kate. And again, just congratulations on reaching a true milestone. You guys have been a solid rock in your faith and set great examples for all your children and grandchildren. I appreciate it. Congratulations again, and have a wonderful night tonight. I hope you enjoyed the video, and love you guys.